You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence.com. I'm Mike, and this is Blackstone's Lemur Lime. My friend John at Lemur Ink gave me this ink to test out because this is his collaboration with Blackstone Fountain Pen Ink out in Australia. And it's got both those on there. It's got his Lemur logo. Very cool stuff. I mean, lemurs don't come in lime, but like, whatever. And this is an ink that I was actually... I was hesitant to even get this for review because I was worried that I wasn't going to like it, and I'm friends with John, and I was like, John, I hate this thing. I want to say bad stuff about it. Fortunately, that's not the case, so I'm glad that didn't happen. Lemur Lime is an awesome sort of, it's kind of limey, I guess, is what you'd call that. Maybe key lime or something like that. I don't know. You got these like interesting bits of shading and such in there. I'm a fan of this ink, actually. So one of the reasons that I was a little bit worried about doing this ink is because I've been burned by some greens before, and I'll show you some of those greens, and I'll be like, look, these are what I thought it was going to be like. It's not. It's actually a very, very nice ink. So a thing about these inks is that sometimes when you get an ink that looks like this in the bottle, and it's got this yellowish character, and you see this like lemur lime thing that's very bright there, and then you look at the cap and it's like super yellowy. A lot of times it'll be just too light to read, and I can't stand an ink that I can't read. That really bugs me. But this one you can totally read, and actually it does go down lighter than it ends up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like do a little scribble up in over here. Yeah, let's do it over here. And then we'll see it darken as it dries as I talk here. So this is the pen I've got this ink in, and this is a Fagianato pen that is it's a Rusheed. And it's got a Bach nib, and they don't mark their nibs. I'm pretty sure this is a fine, might be a medium, but I'm fairly sure it's a fine. So here's that ink as it goes. It's really, I think it's darkening up actually quite a bit just as we've watched it. And that's great because, I like it when an ink changes color a little bit. When I started writing with it, I'm like, I don't know. And then as it sort of darkened up, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm on board for this. This is pretty good. So this is all right. So I've started this over a few times because you can see some little streaks up here and some little streaks on my fingers because I kept brushing away like some detritus that was on here. And what it is the dreaded little shards of bullshit. So in these threads on this bottle, you do get some ink trapped, and it will dry. And so when you open it, sometimes you might get like little shards that will turn into ink with the slightest provocation, like this and here. And then there's like one down here that I was brushing off, and I'm like, what is this? All right, so this is watch out for that. I didn't think about it. All right, flow, perhaps a little bit medium wet. I've been using it in this pen, which is a Fred Fagianato pen that I got, a year ago, maybe, something like that. It is a gorgeous Urushi pen. It has a Bach nib, which I'm fairly sure is a fine, although it might be a medium. They don't mark their nibs, which is real annoying to me. So, look at this. No marking there. Just has a little square with a dot in it, which I think is pretty nice, but I could have used like an F or an M or something on there. That would have been helpful. So there we go. All right. And I have really, really been enjoying it in this pen, which is pretty medium sort of Bach nib. Maybe a little bit on the wet side. I think this ink is a little bit on the wet side. I've had no flow problems or anything like that. It's been really nice. I will say that I got some ink funk, nib funk on there, which just ends up looking like, I don't know, little crystals. It's basically evaporation, and sometimes when you have a yellow component in an ink, it'll evaporate and it'll leave like these little crystals, like you did like salt crystals or something in school when you were a kid, and like put the string in the salt and it grew crystals on it. Same sort of thing. It's just ink, just like crystallized like ink bits. You can just like run it under some water or wipe it off. It'll be totally fine. It'll turn back into ink. So don't worry about that if you get that on a green or an orange or a red or something like that. Pretty sure it's the yellow, that yellow dye component that does that. As far as its performance on like pretty crappy paper, here it is on Staples 20 pound 30% recycled copy paper. This is from that fine Bach nib. No problems with feathering of any kind as far as I can tell. And also, there are like a few little dots here where it bled through just a tiny bit. I ain't worried about that. That's pretty darn good performance for this 20-pound Staples copy paper. This is just the bad paper that you have in your office, basically. And it behaved just fine on there. So, hey, good job. Qualities, cool shading. I mean, look at that. That's really neat. You get some cool shading in the writing and stuff as well, I think, which I like a little bit of shading. It never shades too light, I don't think, which is good. Pen, we already talked about that. Cool. So, like, here's the thing. I really thought I was going to hate this ink. And so I was reluctant to even, like, take a bottle to review because I thought it was going to be too much like Robert Oster's Sublime or Irishizuku Chikurin or something like that, which I think are just too light for me to write with. I've never enjoyed using them. I bought them because I like this. I think this is a cool color, but this is what I was hoping those would be, honestly. But this is very nice. Even in the fine nib, totally readable. I've been making notes in this stuff, no problem at all. Is it a work appropriate ink? Like, maybe not. It's pretty bright in your face green, but would it make a good highlighter ink? I don't know. I kind of think it wouldn't. I think it's going to be too dark. If you want a highlighter, use like Chikurin or something maybe, or one of those highlighter inks that's actually made for that. So this is a 30 ml bottle and it goes for $12 over at Lemur Ink, and probably, well, that's actually the only place you're going to find it because this is their ink. So let's go ahead and put some water on this thing, test the water resistance, look at the chromatography, and then look at a bunch of other inks next to this one. Okay, so let's get some water on here. I'm actually not hoping for much. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's immediately highlighter yellow is what's coming off there. That is impressive. All right, let's blot this away with my handy dandy paper towel. Be careful not to annihilate all the rest of the words, because whoa. Yeah, this is in no way water resistant. I wasn't really expecting it to, but this is actually impressive in its lack of water resistance. It completely annihilated that. It's all here on the paper towel. So yeah, keep this one well away from anything you want to, any kind of water or anything, because whoa, that's crazy. All right, so let's take a look at the chromatography. And here it is. It didn't really get much travel here from the green components or anything, as opposed to, like, say, this one for Blue Cashmere, which I also have just done. We'll see that one. If you haven't seen it yet, it'll be on the channel soon. I don't know what order I'm uploading these in, but whatever. Sometimes you get a lot of travel. Sometimes you get like almost no travel. So down here where it started, there's just nothing. Like, it's gone. And it pushed this yellow up and this green, but just nothing where it started. So I guess I'm not super surprised that it didn't have any water resistance. I'm just surprised by the amount it didn't have. The amount of not water resistant that it is. After I finished filming, I realized I didn't show it on the papers I promised. So, here we go. This is Ink Journal's Tomoe River, and this is Blackstone's Lemur Lime on here. And even on this paper, which doesn't really let ink soak in or anything like that, I think this is totally readable and looks pretty nice. The darker character kind of comes out in sort of an edge shading sort of way. Looks cool. And secondly, here it is in Inky Fingers. You can still find these online if you search for Inky Fingers notebooks. This is wheat straw paper. And here it is on this one, where I think it looks great. I mean, you get a little bit of, is it a medium, is it fine? I don't know, this dumb nib isn't marked, but you do get plenty of that nice dark character in there, so you can read this. It has good contrast against the white paper, so cool. I think this is a very well done ink, and I like that. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. Okay, so this is Blackstone Lemur Lime on a Colodex card. Check these out. You can get them actually, I think Lemur Ink sells these, but I also go straight to the source and get them from Well Appointed Desk. Anna makes these, and they're pretty great. Okay, so the ones I was afraid it would be like is Robert Oster's Sublime, which looks fairly close, although this is clearly darker on the Colodex card. This one is just a little bit too light to use. Likewise, where's the other one? Here it is, Chikurin. Even lighter, I think, more, even less saturation. It even lacks like the edge bits, just kind of all too bright to use. Similarly, or even to a larger extent, Lamy Charged Green. This is an ink that, like, I don't even know what this is for. It's got to be for art. Maybe it's good as a highlighter. It's a cool looking pen. I have like a couple of pens in this color. This is one of their limited editions from a while ago, but yowza, that is unusable as a pen ink. Here is Bookbinders Emerald Boa. This is another Australian company, and I don't know if I even use this one because I was like, oh, I don't know, this is gonna be too light because it's like those. Here's one I keep trying to convince myself to ink up, and I haven't because I love this. I don't know if I'm going to love this. This is Diamine's Calligraphy Passion. This is a Germany-only ink, but you can get it fairly inexpensively from online retailers over there. But I mean, it's got some cool shading and stuff, and I hear it's nice, but let me know in the comments if you actually have this one and use it in a pen for, just regular old word writing, because I am dubious. And then lastly, and this is one that is not even close to the same color, but it is another real weird greenish, yellowish color that I love, and that's Gunpowder Tea from Birmingham Pen Company. You can't always get Gunpowder Tea. They sort of rotate their inks in and out, but get on the waiting list for this. Sign up to be notified when they make more. That's how they know to make more, because this is just a wild and weird ink, but totally different from Lemur Lime, but nonetheless worth trying out. All right, so there we go. This has been Blackstone's Lemur Lime for my friend John's Lemur Lime, or rather lemurink.com. Go there to find this ink. It's the only place you're going to get it, so do that. Also, if you decide to buy this one or whatever else there, let John know that you saw it here. Like, put it in the comments or something. Like, hey, that Inkdependence Mike guy, he's all right. And I will see y'all later on in the next video. Peace out.